Well, thank you very much. Welcome to Startup Grind Andorra. Who's coming here for the first time? First time? All right. I'm not going to judge. You're going to have fun tonight. Welcome to Startup Grind Andorra. I don't know if you're familiarized with what Startup Grind does. We're the biggest community of entrepreneurs worldwide. We're basically conducting a monthly event, not in Andorra, but in 500 cities in over 150 different countries all over the world. And here we do it a little bit less often whenever we've got the chance to have like a really good speaker like we have tonight with Sunil. And what we do is to try to foster entrepreneurship, to educate, connect, and inspire entrepreneurs in the road and potholes. And sometimes entrepreneurs are alone and they don't have, co-founders. They're not lucky enough to have been born in successful countries or first world countries. So therefore, we want to be their partner. We want to help them, whatever the circumstances or wherever in the world they are, right? So this is what we're trying to do. And we came here to Andorra. We actually did our first event in May with the Minister, Gilbert Savoia, in order to bring some expertise, bring international connections, bring international speakers, and also have an open window for Andorra in the entrepreneurship world in order to broadcast whatever it's happening here, right? We talked with Gilbert about the partnership with the MIT and the interesting projects Andorra is developing in terms of smart cities, smart country, and sustainable energies and all of that. And we said, well, with Startup Grind, through our platform, we can give access to that and exposure all over the world, right? Every event, and this is not an exception, doesn't happen without the sponsors. And so I would like to give a special thanks to sponsors tonight, Valbank, El New, and Actua, because they have been supporting us for absolutely no reason. They said, you guys, you're coming with an interesting event, you're coming with an interesting project. This is good for Andorra, this is good for the entrepreneurs. We believe in the project. We don't want anything in exchange. Just, we need to support it. So please give it up, give a really warm applause for our sponsors tonight. They told me before the first event, people don't like to give applauses to sponsors. They're not very institutional here. It's like, we got it, we can do it. All right, without further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker tonight because he's got a really interesting career, because he had to face this very difficult decision when he was 21. He was just telling me when he was ready to study his master's in like sports management or PhD, and then he got the opportunity to become a general manager of a club in the second division, I believe, of a professional basketball league in Spain. And we don't come across this kind of opportunities every day, so we're going to learn a lot from him. Besides that, he's been an entrepreneur before Globatalent. He created another company. He's also been manager of the marketing division of MediaPro in the Balearic Islands, and many other entrepreneurial projects that we're going to learn tonight, and one of them is Globatalent, here occurring in Andorra right now. So please, we don't pay our speakers to come here. They pay us with their time. And Sunil has been extremely generous because not only has come to Andorra to speak tonight, but also he spoke at our Barcelona conference 2 weeks ago. So, their time is very precious, it's very expensive. So we will pay him with standing up at the count of 3. And I know you don't like to do that, but you will stand up at the count of 3, and then you will give him a very big rock star applause for Sunil. So please, 1, 2, 3. Let's do it. All right, yes. Thanks. Welcome. Some people in the audience tonight told me, like, don't do this. It's not going to work. Not in Andorra. I like challenges. Thank you for your cooperation. And thank you, Sunil, for coming to Startup Grind. How many times have you been welcomed on stage as a rock star?
Never. This is the first time.
This is the
I
first.
really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man.
It breaks the ice and it breaks the institutionalism of some events. Before we start, I wanted you to explain a little bit your background and that difficult decision you came across at age 21, because I want people to have your full background.
Well, basically, I'm involved in the sports industry all of my life, and then before I went to the university, I played basketball. I know like my partner Ferran, obviously, but just coaching. And then I went to the university, and when it was my last year at the university, I got a call from the club where I used to coach, that they were in the second division in basketball in Spain, and they said, hey, We are trying to get professional people. We were looking for general manager in the team. Do you want to come and be the general manager? I mean, first you get, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
I want
not?
to go. But then when you realize, oh, I'm a student at the university. I have my last semester. I have paid already my tuition fees for the MBA, and then I want to do a PhD. Said, oof. Then you're talking with your family, and family said, no, you have to do your master degree, then your PhD, and all this stuff. And then when you talk with the tutor, and the tutor says to you, hey, guy, how many people in Spain are able to work in this kind of job? I said 40, 45 guys. I said, so why you don't take it? You always can do an MBA or PhD. Probably then if you take this job, you will never do a PhD or MBA. And I never done an MBA and a PhD. That's
Not yet.
Not yet. So
You
I
don't
still
need
have
it.
time.
Yeah.
So I decided to go. So sometimes you have to take decisions, and sometimes you achieve it, and sometimes they are the right decisions, and sometimes they are not. But you have to take decisions in this life.
And from there, so you transition to being like, a student to general manager of a basketball team. Not quite common, let's say, for a lot of people. How was the rest of your career? So what was the best learnings of these years? How did you go then to Media Pro? And
Well, first learning.
because I want to cover the institutional corporate part
Yeah, I mean,
first.
first learning was that when I was in that club, I realized that I cannot depend on a crazy president in, let's say, or like a board that they don't care about the club, or maybe they only care about other stuff which is not involved in the sports industry. So I said, I cannot depend from financial point of view on those guys. So I said, I have to build up an own business, so that give me my economic independence from my work, so I can take my full decisions from what I really believe. So that year I started to build up like a small company that we were buying sports image rights from young players, and when they achieved to be in the top teams, we focused on basketball, and then we went through football. So when they achieved to be in the professional team, we were selling these image rights to the club. Okay, so this company gave me the financial independence from the president, and be able to take the decisions. So then I moved 10 years from different teams in the ACB. And or 12 years, I would say. And then I decided that I don't want to work in the sports industry anymore, because front office is cool and nice. You meet great people, but then the back office is not as cool as people think. I mean, there are a lot of. It's true that there is some kind of, I don't like to use corruption, but some kind of not ethic decisions.
Yeah,
Okay?
all right, yeah.
So I said, I don't want to work in this industry. I have my company, it works very well. We're making good revenue, so. And I decided to open a sports marketing consulting company as well. But then it came Media Pro said, they don't open, why you don't join us? And join to our consulting division. I said, it was a sports marketing consulting division. I said, okay, why no, why yes? Okay, let's go for it. And then I joined to Media Pro, and they gave me the opportunity to be involved in F1 in the moment that Fernando Alonso, Santander, and Ferrari, they were in the same team, and that it was a different point of view, and especially from the marketing point of view. So I really like it. But then I decided, hey, I need to be free and carry on my own career myself. So I carry on doing other, I built other companies. I mean, it's not companies. It's just from the hotels. It doesn't involve in the sports industry, or even in the technology. And 2 years ago, it was almost 3 years ago, I called to Ferran. With Ferran, we know each other for, I would say, 15 years ago. So something like 15, 17 years ago. And said, hey, I'm thinking to do something in technology, in sports, so some kind of CRM that can link all the departments in a professional club. And he was the one who introduced to me on blockchain with another friend of him. So I said, hey, I don't really know what is this about blockchain. And then when I understand that has a lot of potential in my world, which is sports, I said, hey, we should try to do something which improve our sports world. and that we will start to thinking about to build up a Globatalent. Of course, we didn't know that it was called Globatalent, but we wanted to
You
use.
came to the idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we wanted to use something that give the opportunity to the sports community to sort out financial problems and fan engagement. So that's how we went through Globatalent and the idea to build this project. And then we said, okay, we need the best assets or the best team. And to build the team, we've been building teams all our life when we're signing players, or when you are a player and you have to work as a team, or when you are a general manager. So we went through to build the real team to be able to achieve the idea.
Which is good, because I was going to connect to something else, but you gave me a couple of really good points. The first one being, there was a lot of unethical decisions in the market. That means you were inside, so therefore you spotted some opportunities. And the second one is essentially you built a very similar kind of company in the past. So, which is the one with the images rights and all of that. So then you incorporated blockchain, and I said, I know this industry, I'm well connected, I've spotted a flaw and an opportunity, therefore, so I can build something, I can improve it, right? Which is a really good way for entrepreneurs to find opportunities in the market. So did you follow this logical thinking, or was it chance?
No, I mean, it was a logical thinking. I mean,
great.
when we decided to close the company that we were dealing with sports image rights, it was we were running the company for 10 years, okay,
Yeah.
and we were running from zero, from A to Z, and we were making revenue for over 25 million pounds per year.
Great.
And but then regulations came through. We said, hey, now is not the moment. So I think we should close the company, and that's it. But now, thanks to blockchain, when I realized what it was blockchain, I said, oh, okay, we had that
You connected
problem.
the dots, right?
Yeah, and improve it. Okay, and in that time, obviously, I was not thinking about the ethic of sports. It just was business. Okay, but I was 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
But now with 40, you think of from other point of view. I mean, the ethic, of course, is one of the most important thing. And if you are able to make a social impact, then you've done it.
Before we go into the idea, which is a really good point, let's start with the team, founding team. In the audience, how many people here are creating a company? Raise your hands. Like 3 people, 4 people. Not a lot of entrepreneurs in the room. But let's delve into this, because I think it's one of the most important things, and most investors will invest more in your team than in your idea, right? They say, like, if you got a good team, you will solve all the problems. You will eventually find a product and a necessity in the market, and you will solve it. Who are your co-founders, and how did you came up with the idea that these guys would merge together and create a good bonding team?
Okay, first, usually when you start a company, you think, hey, you have to, you're talking with your friends, hey, guys, why you don't jump in and we build a company? We have somebody said, hey, I have a great idea, why we don't develop this idea and all this stuff. I don't really believe in this way, okay? I think that if you want to be successful, you need to have a real team. I mean, not everybody has to have a marketing mind or financial mind or developing mind. So you have to have every different skills in a team, okay?
Yeah.
So the only, what is very important is, my opinion, is the human factor. Okay, everybody has the ethic principles. Okay,
That's right.
And then from this point, you are looking different skills from people. So, of course, Ferran and we were talking about. Then here there's the other 2 co-founders. Okay, Gabi Treban and Iñaki Cabrera, and some of them, they are coming from sports industry, but from different backgrounds, and others, they are not coming from sports industry. So basically what you're doing is what we need, which kind of skills we need to build a proper team. Not from the beginning, because at the beginning you think maybe it's not important, but you realize how important is a team when you have the difficulties and how to solve these kind of difficulties, and who is who is working for the team and who is working for himself.
Mm-hmm. How about the values of the company? You mentioned it briefly, but I want you to go deep into what are the company culture, what are the values, because I think if you're not allowed with your co-founders in this, you said, it will create problems eventually. So it's better to have it like right off the bat, Like to have it clear, set on paper? Did you write it on the the shareholders agreement?
Principle was, hey, do we want to have, or do you want to have a social impact?
Mm-hmm.
Second is, do you want to improve a sports ecosystem? And of course, as I said before, one of the most important issues is, are you able to work first for the company or for the project rather than from yourself? Okay, not being selfish.
Yeah.
Okay, so working as a team. So these key points are very important, and this is one of the most important thing, because at the end we are. I mean, people can say, no, this is a blockchain company. We are not a blockchain company. We are a sport company using blockchain.
How about the idea? Let's go now into the idea. When you conceptualized and you came across the idea of Globatalent, was it the idea that you finally developed, or was it something different and eventually you pivoted and you evolved into this idea that you currently have right now?
I would say that
What was the process?
70%
Yes.
is what we thought,
Great.
okay, and 30% is we change it, okay?
Okay.
But even that is 70% is what we thought, we all are conscious that maybe in the next 3 months we will have to change another 30%, okay? Because who has the solution of every company is the market. So the market demands said you have to do this, or your idea doesn't work. So basically, from the beginning, 70% is what we thought, and 30% is new, what we never thought before. Okay.
Because one of the things that strikes me as really surprising is you decided to create this company that's pretty big on a very unstable and fragile market because of regulation, technology changes, fluctuation in the valuation of things. So how did you take all of these risks and factor, and how did it affect your decisions? Like, for instance, the instability in the valuation of Ethereum at the price of, when you did the ICO.
Okay. In our case, we were very conscious from the beginning that we were not a speculation project. Okay,
Yeah.
we were focused on the technology as a tool. Okay, for develop the project. Okay, so and create a real use case of using blockchain, and then we are from let's say, I don't like to use speculation, but a lot of blockchain projects has been using speculation process, okay, and at the end they don't, not a lot. Some projects, they have done it. So, but anyway, so we didn't we're focusing on this side. We're focusing on the side that there is a problem, how we can create a solution, and that's it. Okay, so in our token economics, for example, our token has an utility in our ecosystem, has it makes sense, or we think it makes sense how to use it, and then the tool that we use it is blockchain. That's it, and of course it's let's say it's in brackets it's a new technology. But we are open to, now we are in Ethereum, but if tomorrow we think that we should move to EOS, we will move to EOS, okay?
Great.
Or we have to move to Stellar, let's say, or just, we will do it. We'll do whatever we have to do for the company.
Can you explain there might be people who here are not so familiar with Globatalent, so can you explain what you guys do with a concrete example, a specific example, how we can use it as end users?
Basically, what we doing is solving two problems in the sports industry. Sports industry, doesn't matter if it's from the athlete point of view or clubs or institutions, both of them, they have two problems. One problem is the financial point of view. Okay, they need fund finding for themselves, so they need to increase the incomes, and then they have a big problem from the fan engagement, because when we talk about sports, most of us, we are thinking about football, okay, but even from football, just some clubs are making money, some players are making money, but they still need to increase their incomes. But that is just a small part of the sports business. So basically, what we thought is we are a tool for clubs, athletes, to be able to find funding by themselves, and the fans are able to buy a stake of this club on athletes. Okay, so it's like you can invest in athletes or in a club holding a stake. Okay, so it's a democratization process of investing in a sports industry.
So to put a more like specific example, I want to buy shares of Luis Suarez because I know that in a year or two he will be sold or transferred to another club. Therefore, that would earn me money.
Yes, for example, let's go for two very simple example. Let's go for an athlete and then go for clubs. So let's say you are a young Chinese player, 18 years old, and you know your family has support you from the financial point of view, but now you need more money, so and you don't have this money for travel expenses, for pay fees, wherever, and you need $200,000 for the next 2 years. So I said, okay, I offer 10% of my future incomes, since I'll achieve to be on the top 100, to the guys who are investing in me. Okay, so what we're doing is to create a token that represents 10% of the future incomes of this guy.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so but this token represents this 10%. Okay, and this is through the smart contract, etc., etc. But this token then is traded or can be traded in our platform. Okay, and people can buy and sell it to peer-to-peer. Okay, well, peer-to-peer not right now, but it will.
Yeah.
Okay. That is an example, okay? So, for example, if you have invested in this young Chinese player and you have bought, let's say, 100 tokens of this guy, then when he succeeds to be in top 100, he has to give you 10% of his future incomes, okay? But if you don't want to wait, you can sell this token to another person, and maybe you make 20% profit.
Perfect.
Okay? So we provide liquidity to the sports ecosystem. This is from athlete point of view.
Great.
Okay?
Now clubs.
Now clubs. Okay, let's say that you are a club, football club, you said, or
Ibiza, for instance.
for example.
They wanted to buy like really big and old players,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
So let's say you are a football club and you said, hey, I need money to sign players and then transfer these players, okay? So basically how it works right now is if you have money, you can sign players. If you don't have money, you go for a hedge fund who borrow you money, okay? You have to pay to him or to them a rate or interest, whatever, and then they're pushing you to transfer the guy, okay?
Yeah.
So if you're using Globatalent platform, you can do the same thing or very similar things, but in a different way. So you said, okay, I need 2 million to sign players, okay, and I offer 20% of my future transferring right during 10 years or 5 years. So during 10 years, the club has to pay 10% of the transferring rights to all token holders. Okay, so that means that if you have invested in the football player, in that token that belongs to this football club, you can have 10% of the future incomes of it. Okay, but at the same time, on the exchange, you can trade this token.
All right.
Okay.
But that was probably, that was close to the original idea, or the original idea was 70%. How did you pivot? How did you change the product according to the market needs, which is something that most entrepreneurs don't know how to do?
First, listen.
Yes.
Second, listen.
All right. Third?
Listen.
Listen as well, yeah.
And then in the last moment, take decision.
Okay. How do you take decisions? Because there are two separate schools of people. The first one, they are data-driven people. That's good if you got data or if you're moving in an existing market.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that you are not in that part because you are a new company and you're doing something that's quite unprecedented. So you must be trusting your gut, right? Or your experience in the, in your professional years in this industry. How do you take decisions?
I mean, I think data is very important, and I believe that you have to take decision with data, but sometimes you can't. Okay, so how you can sort of with experience and listen other people, listen yourself, listen your team, and then listen all the team and make the right decisions, or at least think that the decision that you take is the right decision. Okay, maybe then the time will say to you if it's the right decision or it's not.
Yeah.
But if you don't have data, you have to take your experience and test it. Okay, for example, in our case, we didn't had in mind to build up an exchange. Okay, we're thinking that the platform that tokenize the tokens or tokenize the sporting talent is enough. But then we realized, hey, we tokenize the sporting talent, but maybe you are buying a token that it will give you revenues in 5 years.
Yeah.
So people don't want to wait
Like
5
investing.
years. Yeah,
Yeah.
5 years until this guy becomes top 10 tennis player.
Yeah.
So how we can sort out this problem and provide liquidity to the ecosystem? So why we don't build up a change? So
Yeah.
we provide peer-to-peer transactions. Okay, so we
Great.
said okay. So first we thought okay that we can build up a decentralized change, and then say no. Let's build up first a centralized a change, and then transform this centralized change to a decentralized change. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is second phase.
When did the company start making money? Because, it seems to me that you guys started with a big budget, which is not the case with all the entrepreneurs, a significant amount of entrepreneurs that start on a shoestring, right? And they start with whatever, 3K, 5K, whatever. You started with a pretty sophisticated budget. How long did it take you to make significant money to keep the company afloat?
Well, to be honest, what we did it was at the beginning, the co-founders, we invest our own money.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Then we have private investors,
Mhm.
okay, and then we had another private investors. Okay, so that was the process of the company, okay. So right now we are not on the selling process yet.
Mm-hmm.
We have built up all the technology, okay,
Yes.
and right now we are in the business development process, okay.
Mhm.
So we are start to tokenize athletes and clubs in beginning of 2019,
Mm-hmm.
around 15, 20 of January,
Great.
okay. And our predictions for 2019 are around 20 million USD of revenues.
Which is really good because when we met, you mentioned how you did the ICO, which is something that was pretty trendy some months ago, and then it kind of like died out like overnight. So what was your learnings in the ICO process? You raised money through that, and it's not all your funding. How did that transition to like the regular fundraising that you did afterwards?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. I mean, ICOs, depending when you were performing the ICO, it was you had more chance or less chance. Okay,
Mhm.
but it was, ICO it looked like it's easy money that you raise,
Yeah.
but then you have to invest a lot of money.
Yes.
So at the end is, if you raise, let's say, 2 million and you spend 3 millions, it doesn't make sense.
Not really.
So basically, right now, the amount that you have to invest to raise certain amount of money through an ICO, STO, or whatever you want to call it, it's quite big amount. So in our case, what we did, it was at the moment that we started the ICO, it was a quite good moment. Okay, so raise some money, but then it came the beginning of the darkness process.
Downfall
Yeah.
of the prices. Yeah.
And so
Let's talk
we
about that.
raised money when the ETH was 800, 900 USD,
Yeah.
and today I think it's 90.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty big change.
So you can imagine. So
Investors were not happy.
No.
Not really.
So basically, the ICOs investors, or the ICOs that the investors who invest within our ICOs,
Yeah.
the institutional ones. Okay, we have two periods. It was crowd sale, a public crowd sale. We're very small investors, and then private sale. We're very institutional. Okay, so the institutionals we said, hey guys. Okay, now look how is the market. Okay, we have to, usually ICOs, they don't care about their token. Okay, it's just money or a way to raise money. Okay, an
Yeah,
excuse to
definitely.
raise money. So we thought, okay, our token has an utility. It has an utility in our ecosystem. So we have to protect and promote our token. So what we did it was, okay, guys, we offer to you an opportunity to get equity, okay, or hold tokens but increase lockup period, okay. So in this way, we have time enough to develop the industry, the technology, the business development, and give value to the token, okay, or give real value to the token, okay. Some of them they said okay, some of them they said no. So this is how we pivotate in that circumstances. Okay, said hey guys, this is the reality. So let's find out a solution, good solution for everybody. So that's how we make it. Okay, because it's very important in all the ICOs. It's very important how you take care about your token. Okay, and especially the lockup periods, okay, because you have to have the total amount of total token supply, token which are in the market as well. So all these issues you have to take care about it. And even if you are taking care about these issues, sometimes there are other things that you cannot control. So this is how we pivotate in this process.
In retrospect, would you do it again? Would you raise money through an ICO?
I think it's a good.
In that time, not now. Now it's perfectly clear that you wouldn't. But
yeah,
yes,
yeah. Why not? I mean,
you do it again.
Yeah, because at the end, we improved the company through this process because we got the token, the smart contract, the smart contract were audited, all our process were checked. So it's otherwise we had to do it now.
Yeah.
At least all the smart contracts and the deploy of the tokens and all this stuff. So yes, it's time that we have improved, and I think especially it's a good learning, and you increase your global network in this space.
What was your worst day as a founder? And like the hardest time?
Well,
something really specific I can share, like, wow, that day I was pretty fucked up.
I mean, I think the hardest days are when two people from the one at the very beginning of the project, okay, decide not to carry on with us, okay,
Really?
and
A founder,
yeah,
co-founder? Okay.
yeah, it was not still a founder,
Yeah.
but
Right.
it was one person from the team that was trying or was helping to develop the idea, okay.
Great, yeah.
That was a disappointing, but again, team solution. Okay, it looked like it was a disaster. Okay, but then the team, we joined the team, said, "Hey, what is going on? How are we gonna sort it out? Blah 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 and stuff." And we sorted it out, and that it was. And then another guy from the team that decided to split ways, but it was because it was more more job problems and time dedication and all this stuff. It was easier, but even in those two circumstances, you said because it's human persons. So
Yeah.
at the end, you're affected in these issues because at the end, the rest, if you think that you raise 2 million and you raise 500,000, you can have a solution.
Yeah.
If you think that you have developed a platform and then it doesn't work, you can pivot. But when you're talking about humans, it's quite...
That's great that you bring up the human factor, because sometimes we forget that entrepreneurs are also humans, and we tend to focus on the financials and the rounds and all of that, but not about the human factors. It's good that you bring this up. How about, and now I'm focusing on the financials disasters or big fuck-ups that you want to share with the audience?
Well, I mean...
Or complicated decisions?
I think that there are a lot of fake advisory.
Oh, wow.
Especially in blockchain, okay, and crypto. People who approach to you said, hey, we can advise you to develop this project, or we can advise you to raise money, or we can advise you to introduce people. So this part, especially in crypto and blockchain, is quite usual.
Yeah.
And this is a disappointing, but it's a learning as well. So that's why we, as a Global Talent, we promote ourselves to advise other entrepreneurs, as long free of charge, as longer we like the project and it makes sense in the blockchain community.
Are you an investor?
Yeah, I'm an investor.
Okay, then I have a question for you. So 3 weeks ago, I was interviewing the founder of Shazam, pretty popular app. Maybe everybody has got it on their phone. And he's also an investor. So I asked him, would you have invested in Shazam when you were starting the project? And he said, oh, no, totally not. So would you have invested in Globatalent in the early stages?
Well, I invest already, so...
Yeah, well, as an external investor, not as a co-founder. Like somebody like you approaches you and says like, oh, I've got this crazy idea. I want to tokenize the sports industry and I need this amount of money. Would you give it to me? Like, would you as an investor that knows nothing about blockchain or sports, would you have invested in that?
If the guy who talked to me convinced me and showed that they have the real team to develop the idea, yes. For me, it's the most important thing. How the team can develop an idea. Because all of us, we can have great ideas.
Yes. Let's talk about the execution then. What do you think that you have brought into the company that made the company go like this and not fail? What do you bring into the company that makes it still be alive?
I mean,
Of course, your co-founders are doing something, but
just, I mean,
let's be nice to them.
Yeah, but just not only the co-founder. I mean, team. I mean, you have to have a proper team. Okay,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, co-founders are co-founders, but
You're the CEO. You take some certain
yeah,
decisions.
we have to take the decisions.
Yeah.
But it's because due to my sport background,
Yeah.
I like to talk what we and not what I.
Yeah.
And because we are a team, okay, and every of us have responsibilities, okay. So this is the key factor, okay. Have the right. For example, in my case, I don't like to take care about paperwork,
Yeah.
okay. I don't like to take care about agreements and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I can talk and make the agreement, but I don't like to prepare the agreement and all this stuff. So somebody has to do it.
Yes.
Okay. So if you don't have nobody in the company who does this, then it's a mess.
Yeah.
And the financial, the same. And marketing, the same. And PR, the same. And so you cannot pretend to be the best in every single skills.
Yeah. So how do you delegate this? Because me personally, as a CEO, as my company grows up, I need to learn how to delegate stuff, and I need to learn how to overcome the fear of missing out. Like, I want to be informed in every part of the company, but at the same time, I know I'm not bringing or not making the most of my time if I am informed about, legal stuff or HR or, the subscriptions in the newsletter, right? How do you let go of that feeling of fear of missing out as you scale the company?
You have to trust people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, work you alone.
Mm-hmm.
You have to trust the people who work with you, and and they will make mistakes as you do. So, and their mistakes are your mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay, and they have to know it. Okay.
So you take part in the responsibility.
Yeah, it's your responsibility. At the end, you have to take the part of the responsibility. Okay,
Yeah.
and they have to know that it's your responsibility. Also that you support them. It's not
Yeah.
like, yeah, I support you. No, you support them.
Yeah.
Okay, and they support you.
So if they fuck up big time, you just don't fire them. You fire them with nice words as well, or
No, it's not trying to about fire people. It's trying to hire people. It's a team.
Yeah.
We have to build a team, and the only way to build a team is making mistakes.
you're a great team player. That comes from basketball. That's something I learned from Ferran when I interviewed him in Barcelona 3 years ago. I wanted to say, the first 10 employees are key in a company. The first 10 employees will define your company culture. They will make or break the company, right? How did you find and hire the first 10 employees?
Basically, through LinkedIn.
Really? That's totally not what I expected. I would say like, oh, I brought them from my previous company through recommendation.
No, because I learned.
Really?
I learned. My friends just hanging around. Okay.
Yeah.
Work is work. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, if you can have friends who are teammates,
Yeah.
even better. Okay.
But you don't want to mix.
No, I learned. In other companies,
All right.
I used to, hey, come. And then, no, that's it. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
Okay. No, be a friend. It doesn't mean that you're the right person to
No,
work
yeah,
in the
of course
company.
not.
So, but if it's a friend and it's the right person, it's perfect.
That's perfect. My two co-founders are my two best friends, and I think they're the best people to do their job with. Some final questions before we open the floor for questions, and I want to go for some more specific and maybe like direct and quick answers. The first one is, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self? Maybe not 21 in that decision you had to take, but like when you were 18, what would you tell yourself?
That's like a recommendation for myself. Or
Yes, for yourself.
That's a g- it's a
With
tricky.
all you know right now, with all your experience?
Mm, that's a good question. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, I would say maybe listen a little bit more my mom and my dad maybe. I don't know.
Then you wouldn't have taken that
Yeah,
decision, right?
yeah, probably not. But that's what maybe sometimes I think. Maybe because now, I'm a father. I'm feeling like in this way. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what. At the end, you have to do what you think is the best for you. I mean, because it's your future. I mean,
Yeah.
and maybe you make mistakes, but at 18 years old, you can make a lot of mistakes.
You can make a lot of mistakes, definitely. As an investor, where should we put our money or our attention on? Which markets do you think they're going to be the best next thing?
Well, I will say.
Or just one, yeah.
I would say blockchain. I mean,
Yeah, that was an
what
easy
can I
one.
say?
Come on. Blockchain's been here for a while. What's the next thing after blockchain, or where will you invest?
I will invest in anything which is, or anything, not anything. I mean, in the way that is involved in health, social care.
Yeah.
Okay, I think there are parts of that, make a lot of sense worldwide, and it can be globally, and it can be with the scalability enough to get a big business.
Perfect. Two last questions, very quick ones. First of all, is at Startup Grind, we believe in helping first. It's one of our core values. How can we help you and Globatalent from Startup Grind?
Well, to be honest, you have helped me a lot, because allowing me to be here and to be in Barcelona some weeks ago is good for our company, because you are very big. I mean, you help a lot to show who we are, what we do, and promote our global talent, because we are conscious that we have to promote global talent globally. We want to be globally. So I really appreciate, and anytime that you have a possibility to invite us, we will be very glad to come.
Let us know next time you're in Andorra. We'll invite you again. And the last one, and that's the hardest question you will ever get. It's everybody has got a useless superpower. Something that's perfectly useless, you don't know what it's useful for, but you do it exceptionally well. Kind of like an example is you lock your car, you walk away 200 meters, and then you think, did I lock my car? And that's a useless superpower. Have you got any like this?
Well, I have the ability to forget my iPad.
Your iPad?
Yeah, at the top of a car in Andorra. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
And go to the hotel, go to the hotel, to the wrong hotel,
Yeah.
get back to the car.
The iPad's still there?
This
Because
iPad
it's
is
not
still-
Barcelona.
No,
Yeah,
the
of
iPad is
course.
still there.
Yeah.
Get the car.
Yeah.
And then suddenly somebody were coming behind us and, hey, I said, oh, fucking, who is this crazy guy?
Yeah.
And then
You've got an iPad on there.
show us the iPad.
So you can drive a car with an iPad on top of it. I thought you were going to say, like, I am able to forget my own age. Because I questioned him about his age. I was like, I'm 40. It's like, wait. Was born, no, 41, no, 40, 42? Like something like that. And you made your calculations. That was a pretty good answer. Give it up. Big applause for Sunil. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we want to go for questions. Yeah. We always like to challenge you. I challenge you to stand up and give him an applause. And we also challenged in the very first event when they told me no one's going to make any question. And there were questions. There were a lot of questions for the minister. So any questions in the audience tonight? Who wants to go first? Shy people? No? Yes. You see. We're changing Andorra for the better.
Hi, Sunil.
Hi.
Which kind of sports can Globatalent support? Tokenizing new Messis, new chess players? How?
I mean, we are open to all sports. Okay. One of the factors that we are trying to do is to decentralize the sports industry. So we are not the one who are deciding you're in and you're out. Okay, the community will decide who is in and who is out, and how, buying tokens or not buying tokens. Okay, if you want to tokenize, you go to Globatalent, you have the process to offer what you want to offer and tokenize yourself. And then the community, if they don't buy your token, they are the one who decide that you don't have good offer enough, or your offer is not good enough.
Great. Next one. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your exposure.
Thank you.
Globatalent, or sports Globatalent. Now this means that the talent is not only in sports, of course, and the system really could integrate music talent and many other things. No, I suppose you already thought about that, and I think that now you're concentrated on what you are, and your team is more pro sports, no? But in your forecast, and if things are going or following your pipeline, do you expect to integrate other structures? In fact, we're talking about rights, no? Rights, which can have rights of everything, no?
Yeah, we are 100% sure that if we are able to succeed with Globatalent, let's say sports, okay, spin-off can be an entertainment, a music and entertainment. It makes a lot of sense, and we are not focusing on that, but we know it, and probably if we want to test it in sports, is what we know, and if it works, then replicate it in sports and music and entertainment.
Which brings me to another question, if you excuse me. Esports. Do you plan to be there or not?
We consider esports sports.
Yeah.
So
You consider that
they are
sports,
already.
yeah.
We usually don't talk about esports.
They're sitting on a fucking chair. How can that be sport? They're not burning calories.
Yeah, well,
they're just ingesting calories.
Well, they do because at the end they have to do. They're moving the fingers.
Yes,
but
they're drinking Monster.
Okay, but what about F1 driver? He does a movie there.
But he loses a lot of weight because of the dehydration. He loses like 5 kilos every race.
Yeah, but it's from the
Yeah, I know.
It's not exercise, so.
Yeah, but they need to be quite fit.
Yeah, but the same for
because otherwise they don't fit in the car.
Yeah, but esports they need to train. They need
really?
to have mental training as well. So it's like chess.
It's kind of like chess. Yeah.
Yeah, chess.
That was never a sport. Come on.
it's a sport.
Never.
Yeah, I can't say it's not about chess because with us we have one of the world championship in women.
Yeah.
She's one of the Globatalent advisors. So.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna shut my mouth. Basically, if you don't sweat, it's not a goddamn sport. Sorry for this. Any other question? If you want, we can also make them in Catalan and Spanish, because in the video we only show the interview. So si voleu fer preguntes en català o castellà, podem fer un parell més. I si no, doncs ho deixem aquí. Big applause for Sunil. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.